On March 19, 2026, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Air Force General Dan Kane, stood at the Pentagon podium and confirmed two separate weapon systems now actively engaged in the Strait of Hormuz. First, the U.S. military dropped 5,000-pound Penetrator weapons into the underground storage facilities storing coastal defense cruise missiles and other support equipment. Those weapons were confirmed by U.S. officials as the GBU-72 Advanced 5K Penetrator, a precision bunker-busting bomb that had addressed targets buried under mountains of reinforced concrete along Iran's coastline 2 days earlier. And second, the A-10 Warthog is now in the fight across the southern flank and is engaging fast attack vessels operating in the Strait of Hormuz. A 50-year-old aircraft, the same one the Air Force has been trying to retire, is now a primary platform used to monitor and engage fast attack vessels that have kept the world's most important oil waterway effectively closed. Two weapons, one built in the 1970s, one cleared for use in 2021, are now the core tools the U.S. military is using to dismantle Iran's grip on the Strait of Hormuz. Here is what each one is doing and what their combined effect means. When Operation Epic Fury launched on February 28, 2026, Iran responded immediately by closing the Strait of Hormuz to all foreign shipping it considered hostile. Within hours, according to Wikipedia's confirmed Hormuz crisis entry, the IRGC transmitted warnings via VHF radio stating, "No ship is allowed to pass the Strait of Hormuz." Tanker traffic reportedly fell by approximately 70% almost immediately. According to the 2026 Strait of Hormuz crisis Wikipedia entry, Iran confirmed 21 attacks on merchant ships as of March 12th. Multiple vessels were struck by drones and missiles. A tugboat sank. 2 Indian crew members were killed on the oil tanker Skylight on March 1st. Over 150 ships anchored outside the strait to avoid attack. According to NPR, approximately 1,000 ships, most of them oil tankers, have been stranded near the strait, with around 20,000 seafarers caught in the standoff. Brent crude surged to above $126 per barrel at peak, according to Fortune. Iran's ability to maintain the blockade for weeks despite a massive U.S. air campaign rests on 3 overlapping layers that each require different tools to address. Layer 1. Fast attack boats, hundreds of IRGC speedboats that can emerge from coastal inlets, attack commercial vessels, and retreat before being engaged. Layer 2. Naval mines, cheap, low-tech, and nearly impossible to fully clear without specialized vessels operating in a safe environment. Layer 3. Underground anti-ship missile storage facilities along the mountainous Iranian coastline. Long-range cruise missiles capable of threatening any ship or warship attempting to transit, including U.S. Navy escorts. Air power alone addressed the surface targets. The mines require specialized clearance vessels. And the underground missile sites, buried under mountains of rock, required a weapon that had never been used in this conflict until March 17th. On March 17, 2026, CENTCOM posted this on its official X account. U.S. forces successfully employed multiple 5,000-pound deep penetrator munitions on hardened Iranian missile sites along Iran's coastline near the Strait of Hormuz. The Iranian anti-ship cruise missiles in these sites posed a risk to international shipping in the strait. The weapon was the GBU-72 Advanced 5K Penetrator, a 5,000-pound precision-guided bunker-busting bomb cleared for operational use in October 2021, developed specifically for targets that conventional bombs cannot reach. According to program manager James Culleton, lethality is expected to be substantially greater compared to similar legacy weapons such as the GBU-28. Its key mechanism, it does not detonate on impact. It punches through concrete and rock before a smart fusing system triggers detonation at depth, maximizing effect inside the facility, not above it. According to the Defense News, the targeted sites contained anti-ship cruise missiles, including systems such as the Noor, with a range of 120 to 170 kilometers, the Qader at approximately 300 kilometers, and the Abu Mahdi, a long-range system exceeding 1,000 kilometers that uses AI to skim the ocean's surface. According to Maritime Executive, Iran had reportedly been holding these higher-end munitions in reserve for better targets, like Western naval vessels, which have so far kept their distance from the strait. The GBU-72 addressed the threat before Iran could deploy that reserve. The Zagros mountain range runs parallel to the Persian Gulf coastline, providing potentially hundreds of feet of natural rock depth above these tunnel structures. According to the war zone, a conventional 2,000-pound bomb penetrates approximately 6 feet of reinforced concrete. These sites were built to be beyond that reach. According to Air and Space Forces magazine, General Kane confirmed at the March 19th briefing, these weapons are bespokely designed to get through concrete and/or rocks in function after penetrating those barriers. Admiral Chief Brad Cooper added that, "We continue to target and degrade mine storage facilities and naval ammunition depots," indicating the GBU-72 campaign against underground infrastructure is ongoing, not a single event. According to Wyon's post-strike analysis, U.S. and Israeli strikes had by mid-March systematically destroyed most of these coastal facilities, though with satellite imagery voluntarily delayed by commercial providers, full independent confirmation remains limited. The same day General Kane confirmed the GBU-72, he confirmed the A-10's active Hormuz role. According to Air Force Times, CENTCOM had released the first official imagery of A-10Cs receiving aerial refueling while supporting Epic Fury on March 15th, the first visual confirmation of the Warthog in the campaign. 4 days later, Kane confirmed the mission publicly. But, according to ABC News citing a U.S. official, both A-10s and Apache helicopters had been operating over the last few days to degrade Iran's fast attack vessel fleet that had been harassing commercial shipping in the strait. The addition of the A-10s and Apaches had intensified the U.S. military effort there, the official noted. According to 1945's confirmed analysis, the A-10 has contributed to a campaign that had, by General Kane's March 19th confirmation, addressed more than 120 Iranian naval vessels and 44 mine-laying watercraft since Operation Epic Fury began. According to Gulf News citing Admiral Cooper, 92% of Iran's large naval ships have been addressed since February 28th. The operational logic is specific. According to the war zone, the A-10's defining advantage in this environment is loiter time. It can circle a sector of the strait for hours, scanning the surface with its lightning targeting pod, waiting for a fast attack boat to separate from civilian traffic or emerge from a coastal inlet. According to Defense One, continued use of expensive interceptor missiles and F-35 sorties against cheap Iranian platforms is expensive and unsustainable. The A-10's GAU-8 Avenger cannon, firing 30mm rounds at 3,900 rounds per minute according to 1945, costs a fraction of any missile alternative per engagement. A fiberglass Iranian speedboat at close range requires seconds. According to 1945's analysis, in a peer contest, the Warthog is a slow-moving target, but in the post-air defense environment of the 2026 Iran conflict, it has become an economical apex predator. Its ability to absorb small arms fire and loiter over the Strait of Hormuz provides a persistent overwatch that faster, more expensive fifth-generation jets cannot match. On March 26, 2026, one day before today, an Israeli airstrike in the port city of Bandar Abbas killed Admiral Alireza Tangsiri, the commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy. According to the IDF and Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz, the strike took place at approximately 3 a.m. local time and also neutralized the IRGC Navy's intelligence chief, Behnam Rezaieh, along with several other senior naval officers. Israel's Defense Minister Katz stated directly, "The man who was directly responsible for the terrorist operation of mining and blocking the Strait of Hormuz was killed in a targeted strike confirmed by officials." Netanyahu confirmed, "We continue to strike with full force." According to Al Jazeera, Tangsiri had been in Bandar Abbas personally overseeing Iran's efforts to assert control over the Strait of Hormuz, and his social media accounts had been posting updates on which ships were permitted to pass. He had commanded the IRGC Navy for 8 years, overseeing a major buildup that included thousands of missiles, naval mines, fast attack craft, and drone capabilities. CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper confirmed the killing and released an extraordinary statement. According to Gulf News, the death of the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps Navy commander, Admiral Alireza Tangsiri, from an Israeli airstrike makes the region safer. Cooper then directly addressed IRGC Navy personnel. U.S. military strikes on the IRGCN will continue. Therefore, we call on every Iranian serving in the IRGCN to immediately abandon their post and return home to avoid further risk of unnecessary injury or death, according to FDD's senior fellow Edmund Fitton Brown. The removal of Admiral Tangsiri and significant degradation of the IRGC Naval Command is another massive blow to the Islamic Republic. It comes after the removal of over 90% of the Iranian Navy's large ships, contributing to a significant degradation of Iran's maritime capability. It serves the twin purposes of weakening and demoralizing the IRGC and suppressing Iran's ability to resist U.S. and allied efforts to reopen and secure transit through the Strait of Hormuz. Under the combined pressure of the GBU-72 strikes on March 17th, the A-10 and Apache campaign from March 19th, the killing of Tangsiri on March 26th, and sustained diplomatic pressure, Iran's absolute blockade has begun to show documented cracks. According to UPI, Iran informed the UN International Maritime Organization on March 22nd that it would allow non-hostile vessels to transit the Strait of Hormuz. This was the first formal communication to the UN about easing the closure. On March 26th, according to Wikipedia's confirmed Hormuz crisis entry, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi announced that ships owned by 5 nations, China, Russia, India, Iraq, and Pakistan, would be allowed to transit the strait. The same day, according to CNBC, Trump confirmed Iran had let approximately 8 to 10 Pakistani-flagged oil ships through as a reported present to the United States, the first acknowledgement of Iran actively facilitating transit as a diplomatic signal. The blockade has not ended. According to Wikipedia's Hormuz crisis entry, as recently as March 27th, today, the IRGC Navy turned away 3 container ships from passing through the strait. The IRGC announced that movement for vessels going to and from the ports of the U.S., Israel, and their allies remains prohibited. According to Jerusalem Post's analysis, fully clearing the strait may require American boots on the ground and a sustained air campaign for at least 3 more weeks. And even then, estimates suggest it could be only 80 to 90% effective at removing Iranian threats, potentially still too low to restore commercial shipping confidence. The mines already in the water remain unaddressed. Mobile missile launchers dispersed before the GBU-72 strikes still exist. And Iran's remaining IRGC Navy, leaderless as of March 26th but not dismantled, can still threaten individual vessels. At the start of March, Iran's blockade rested on 3 pillars: the threat of its underground anti-ship missile batteries, its surface fast attack boat fleet, and the personal command of Admiral Tangsiri directing the operation from Bandar Abbas. By March 27th, according to confirmed reports across multiple sources, the underground missile storage facilities have reportedly been substantially addressed by GBU-72 strikes on March 17th and continued operations. The surface fast attack boat fleet has been reduced, 120-plus vessels and 44 mine layers addressed per General Kane, by A-10s, Apaches, and other naval forces. And the man who personally oversaw the blockade was killed in a precision strike confirmed by officials on March 26th. According to Admiral Cooper's March 26th statement, 92% of Iran's large naval ships have been addressed since February 28th. Secretary of State Rubio stated on March 26th that the U.S. had made concrete progress in diplomatic talks with Iran and noted a growing amount of energy flowing through the strait. There is a specific irony in the two weapons at the center of this campaign. The GBU-72 development began in 2017, cleared for use 2021, combat debut in this conflict, represents the cutting edge of U.S. precision strike capability, built specifically for hardened underground targets that no previous weapon could reliably reach. The A-10, first production aircraft delivered in 1975, built to stop Soviet tanks, repeatedly scheduled for retirement, is the confirmed weapon engaging Iranian speedboats in the same strait right now. Congress saved it from retirement. The IRGC Navy did not expect it to be here. According to the War Zone, the A-10's continued use in the Middle East goes against a prevailing narrative that the Warthog needs to go because its utility is limited on the modern battlefield. In the Strait of Hormuz in March 2026, the most advanced bunker buster and the most persistently retired attack aircraft are operating in the same airspace against different layers of the same blockade. On March 17th, GBU-72 bombs went underground into the mountain tunnels along the Hormuz coastline and addressed what Iran had buried to be unreachable. On March 19th, A-10 Warthogs began circling the surface of the strait, monitoring and engaging fast attack boats that Iran had built to swarm and harass shipping. On March 26th, the man who built and commanded both those threats for 8 years was killed in a precision strike confirmed by officials on his own headquarters. The Strait of Hormuz is not yet fully open. Iran's blockade is cracking, not broken. But the underground missile layer, the surface boat threat, and the command structure behind the entire operation have all reportedly been substantially degraded in the span of 10 days. What comes next will be determined by whether that degradation is enough. This video is based on publicly available reports, official statements, and defense analysis. Some details may be subject to change as the situation continues to develop.